Your person is currently feeling stuck, trapped, and deeply entangled in a toxic karmic situation that they don't quite know how to escape. There is a heavy sense of regret weighing on them, but alongside that regret is a profound embarrassment that keeps them silent. They know they abandoned you, and they know an apology is long overdue, yet shame stops them from reaching out. On a soul level, they are painfully aware that you were nothing but loving, loyal, and supportive to them. You showed up with consistency, patience, and compassion, offering them a level of care they had never truly experienced before. Because of this, they know, without question, that you did not deserve to be treated as harshly or dismissed as coldly as they treated you. That realization alone haunts them. Before meeting you, your person had a very distorted understanding of love. Love, to them, was conditional, unstable, or transactional, something fleeting or unsafe. When you entered their life, it disrupted everything they thought they knew. Through your energy, they experienced genuine love for the first time, a love that was steady, healing, and unconditional. You didn't just love them, you helped them see parts of themselves they had avoided for years. In many ways, you became a powerful healer for them, holding space for their wounds, fears, and unresolved pain even when they couldn't articulate it themselves. At the time, they didn't fully understand the magnitude of what you were offering. Only now, in your absence, do they realize how rare and sacred that kind of connection truly was. As time has passed, regret has settled in more deeply. They replay their past choices repeatedly, wishing they had acted differently, spoken more honestly, or fought harder for the connection you shared. They are now painfully aware that they took you for granted, assuming you would always be there, always forgiving, always understanding. That illusion has shattered. The separation between you feels less like distance and more like punishment, a consequence they believe they brought upon themselves. They feel the absence of your warmth, your presence, and your grounding energy in ways they never expected. What once felt optional now feels irreplaceable. What surprises them most is not just losing you, but witnessing your strength without them. They truly did not expect you to rise the way you have. They thought your bond with them defined you more than it did, and seeing you stand firmly in your independence has shaken them. Your high priestess energy, intuitive, self-possessed, and deeply connected to your inner truth, has become impossible for them to ignore. You carry yourself with quiet confidence now, and that power both inspires and intimidates them. They are forced to confront the fact that you were never dependent on them for your worth or your light. Instead, you chose them, and that choice meant everything. Losing that choice is something they deeply mourn. Even though you may believe they don't care anymore, that assumption couldn't be further from the truth. On the surface, they appear distant or detached, but beneath that exterior, they are constantly thinking about you. They watch from afar, quietly observing your growth, your resilience, and your ability to thrive despite the pain they caused. They notice the way you move through the world now, more aligned, more self-assured, more grounded in who you are. Each observation stirs a mix of admiration, longing, and regret within them. They can't help but compare their current situation to what they once had with you, and the contrast only deepens their dissatisfaction. Your presence has left a permanent imprint on their soul. No matter how much time passes or how much distance exists between you, you are unforgettable to them. You change them in ways they are only beginning to understand. They carry the lessons you taught them everywhere they go, even if they don't speak your name out loud. There is a constant inner conflict within them. Part of them feels unworthy of approaching you again, while another part is quietly plotting and hoping for a chance to return. They think about what they would say, how they might explain themselves, and whether they could ever regain your trust. Deep down, they know that reconnecting with you would require accountability, growth, and vulnerability, things they once avoided. Yet, your absence has forced them to confront these very things. Whether or not they act on it, the truth remains the same: you awaken something within them that can never be undone. You were not just a chapter in their life, you were a turning point. And now, as they linger in regret and longing, they are finally beginning to understand the depth of what they lost when they walked away from you. I want to be open with you in every sense of the word, to have the courage to tell you when I am struggling, when something weighs on my heart, and when I don't have all the answers. At the same time, I want to be that safe place for you, someone you can lean on whenever life feels heavy or uncertain. I want to be present in your life in a way that feels steady and genuine, not only during the good moments but especially during the difficult ones. Being there for you matters deeply to me, because loving you means choosing you not just when it is easy, but when it requires patience, understanding, and strength. I want to protect you, not by controlling or limiting you, but by caring for your heart and respecting who you are. I want to give you the time and attention you deserve, the kind that says you are seen, valued, and cherished. I want to show you love in ways that feel real and consistent, not just through words, but through actions that make you feel safe and appreciated. Your happiness matters to me, and knowing that I can be part of what brings a smile to your face or peace to your heart is something I hold close. You are my light in the dark, especially during moments when everything else feels unclear. When the world feels overwhelming or when doubt creeps in, the thought of you reminds me that there is still beauty, warmth, and purpose. You are my hope when things seem hopeless, the quiet reassurance that even when circumstances don't make sense, there is still something worth believing in. You are my faith when I feel insecure, the reminder that I don't have to have everything figured out to trust in what feels true. Distance, no matter how great, can never separate two hearts that genuinely care for each other. Physical space may exist, but emotional connection does not weaken when it is rooted in honesty, respect, and love. What we share goes beyond proximity, it lives in thoughts, in feelings, and in the quiet moments when one person feels the presence of another even from far away. True care doesn't fade with miles, it grows stronger through intention and trust. When I met you, something inside me changed. You broke me open in a way I didn't expect, gently yet completely. I began to feel things I couldn't explain, emotions that felt both unfamiliar and deeply right. You awakened parts of my heart that had been silent, and suddenly I was experiencing sweet, almost heavenly feelings I had never known before meeting you. It wasn't just attraction or admiration, it was something deeper, something that reached into my soul and stirred it awake. I love you because with you, I can be myself in ways others have never seen. I don't feel the need to hide parts of who I am or pretend to be stronger, different, or less vulnerable than I truly am. With you, I can be free and open with my feelings, sharing my fears, my dreams, my flaws, and my hopes without the fear of judgment. That kind of acceptance is rare, and it means more to me than I can fully put into words. You make me feel understood, even when I struggle to explain myself. You make me feel safe enough to speak honestly, knowing that my feelings will be met with care rather than criticism. Being seen and accepted in that way has taught me what real connection feels like. It has shown me that love doesn't require perfection, only sincerity. After seeing you, after truly knowing you, my heart became certain of what it wants. There is no confusion in the way I feel, no doubt clouding my emotions. My heart recognizes you in a way that feels instinctive, as if it has always known what it was searching for. And my soul, in its quiet wisdom, knows this is real. It knows this connection isn't imagined or fleeting, but something meaningful and profound. What I feel for you is not built on illusion or temporary emotion. It is built on trust, on openness, on the way you make me feel alive and whole at the same time. It is built on the understanding that love is not just about passion, but about choosing each other, again and again, with honesty and care. And in that knowing, I find peace, gratitude, and a deep sense of purpose in loving you. Your partner is going through an intense period of heartbreak right now, one that runs far deeper than what they allow themselves to show on the surface. Every day requires a tremendous amount of inner strength for them to conceal what they are truly feeling, especially around you. Even when they appear calm, composed, or distant, there is a constant emotional undercurrent that they are battling internally. They have tried repeatedly to distract themselves, to forget the pain, to reason their way out of it, but nothing seems to work for long. This heartbreak feels inescapable to them, not because they want to dwell in it, but because it is rooted in long-standing behavioral patterns and emotional conditioning that they are only now beginning to fully recognize. These patterns keep pulling them back into the same emotional space, forcing them to confront feelings they once believed they could ignore or outgrow. At the core of their pain is the belief that you may no longer be interested in continuing or deepening this connection. Whether this belief is based on your actions, your distance, or their own fears, it weighs heavily on them. They interpret subtle shifts in energy and communication as signs of detachment, and this perception intensifies their sense of loss. The idea that you might be emotionally moving on leaves them feeling powerless, as though the ground beneath them is slowly disappearing. This fear doesn't come from a lack of caring on their part, rather, it stems from how deeply invested they truly are. The more they feel you slipping away, the more pronounced their heartbreak becomes. Unable to approach you directly just yet, your partner finds themselves observing you from a distance. This observation borders on obsession, not in a controlling or malicious way, but in a deeply emotional one. They notice small details, your mood, your interactions, your presence or absence, and assign meaning to them, sometimes more than is fair to themselves. Watching from afar feels safer than risking rejection, yet it also keeps them trapped in longing. Each moment of observation reinforces how much you still matter to them, even when they try to convince themselves otherwise. Despite the pain and fear, reconciliation remains at the forefront of their thoughts. They imagine what it would be like to reconnect, to clear misunderstandings, and to rebuild what feels fractured. However, they are also painfully aware that this situation cannot be resolved with a casual message, a brief apology, or a half-hearted gesture. They know that whatever comes next must be meaningful, intentional, and honest. A small offer or surface-level attempt would only cheapen the depth of what they feel and risk reopening wounds rather than healing them. This awareness makes them hesitant, but also more determined to approach the situation correctly. As a result, your partner is actively strategizing how to come to you in a way that feels authentic and emotionally truthful. This is not manipulation or calculation for personal gain, but rather a careful preparation driven by fear and sincerity. They want to choose the right words, the right timing, and the right emotional posture so that when they finally speak, they are fully seen and understood. For a long time, they kept their true feelings locked away, guarded closely within their heart. These emotions were hidden not because they were insignificant, but because expressing them once felt too risky, too vulnerable, or too likely to disrupt the balance of the connection. Now, however, holding them in feels even more painful than the possibility of rejection. What you may not realize is just how much emotion your partner has carried for you over time. There is a reservoir of unspoken affection, longing, regret, and hope that has never fully surfaced. They have loved quietly, supported silently, and endured emotionally without asking for recognition. This emotional restraint is now reaching its limit. The weight of everything unsaid has become heavier than the fear of finally saying it. In many ways, This moment feels like a turning point for them, one where emotional honesty is no longer optional but necessary for their own well-being. Interestingly, the dynamic between you now feels reversed in their eyes. Where they may once have taken on a more controlled, guarded, or traditionally dominant emotional role, they now feel themselves softening. They are stepping into a more receptive, intuitive, and emotionally open state, what they perceive as a feminine energy. This shift doesn't make them feel weak, instead, it makes them feel more aligned with their true emotions. They are allowing themselves to feel deeply, to yearn, and to hope, even if it means risking vulnerability. In this state, they are not seeking control over the situation, but connection, understanding, and emotional truth. Ultimately, your partner stands at a crossroads between fear and courage. Their heartbreak has stripped away many of their defenses, leaving them raw but honest. Whether or not reconciliation happens, they are preparing to show up in a way they never have before, with openness, sincerity, and a willingness to reveal the emotions they once kept hidden.